You know, most people think a homestead starts working the day you get your water, power, and your roof up. But let me tell you something, that's when things actually get a little tough. Once the excitement wears off, reality sets in. The animals still need care, the garden's certainly not gonna wait, and you got mud that shows up, well, from everywhere. Every system you thought you had figured out suddenly needs work. You need systems, food, animals, winter prep, daily routines. Or a homestead will wear you out instead of supporting you. And if you want your homestead to eventually pay you back, even just enough to cover feed or fencing, you've got to build it right from the very start. Today, I'm going to walk you through how we turned our raw piece of land into a homestead that feeds our family, supports the critters, and even brings in a little income on the side. No fluff, no Pinterest fantasy, just what actually worked for us and what I'd do different if I had it to do all over again. Once you got your water handled, you can finally talk about food. And I don't mean giant fields and rows, at least not in the beginning. We started growing with what we actually eat. Potatoes, onions, lettuce, tomatoes, beans, squash, that kind of thing. Simple crops that fill the pantry with what grows here. And look, here in West Tennessee, between the heat, humidity, sudden storms, pests, and everything else that's thrown at the garden, well, it's not easy. Raised rows, heavy mulch, and all the proper weeding tools they're just not luxuries. They're what we need to survive. Unfortunately, we don't have a high tunnel or a greenhouse yet, maybe one day. But that little germination chamber I built a couple years back has been a game changer. A simple tray, some good soil, vermiculite, and the controlled heat and moisture created by the germination chamber gives us healthier seedlings and a huge jump on the season. Look, I can start lettuce, which for those of you who don't know, does not germinate in the heat. In the middle of July, it's 112 degrees out here, and I've got it coming up anytime I want. It's a small system, but had a huge impact. When we started with animals, we started small. We started with rabbits, chickens, a few ducks, and a few head of goats. We built several small sheds for each. Nothing fancy, but seriously functional. And we learned what we needed to know before moving up into bigger livestock. Cows came much later, once the fencing, feed storage, daily routines were all established. And you can start with regular working stock animals if you want, and a lot of people do. But you'll always make more money for resale with good genetics. Starting with animals from reputable programs means fewer health issues, better temperament, and stronger herds. Now look, we don't show animals anymore. When I first started this, I saw rabbits get disqualified over a toenail color, or some Boer goats over an ear shape. And in some programs, those traits were enough for a good animal to be culled. And that wasn't the direction we wanted for our farm. We do keep pedigreed animals around here from the top breeders across the country because we want good genetics. That really matters. But we focus on healthy, functional livestock, not ribbons, not perfect show traits, just animals that thrive here. Automation has also helped us. We've got automatic waterers, we've got gravity feeders, we've got dry feed storage, we've got good gates, electric poultry netting, all kinds of stuff. And look, every minute you're not hauling stuff is a minute you can spend building something that lasts. And remember, our first buildings here weren't for us. They were for the animals. Those little sheds gave us a base long before the house was built. And that's how real homestead starts. Taking care of your animals first. Just saying. Let's take a minute and talk daily routines. Now, a daily routine truly means daily. 365 days a year, rain, shine, sleet, hail, whatever it is. We do this twice a day. But what does that do? It keeps the place running. Every morning, feed and water. Every day, I look at the fence line and check the electric fence voltage. Why? Because something could happen overnight. Deer run through the fence. Our bull the other day decided to tear out part of our fence post, and I had to rebuild part of our electric fence. Why? He was just playing. But he doesn't fool with it right at the moment. He remembers what those little electric wires do. We check water lines. What does that mean? I'm not looking at the ones underground. I'm looking at the ones that are above ground. We have external watering systems that need to be maintained. So I double check the lines to make sure everybody's got the proper water they need. Obviously, I top off whatever needs to be done. And then I took a good look at all the animals. I mean, all of them. As I'm feeding, as I'm walking around the farm in the morning, I look at every one of the goats, cows, rabbits, whatever. And I'm looking for something that's off. And once you're around your livestock enough, you'll know when something's wrong. So if you see something wrong, you might want to isolate, you might want to just do whatever's necessary. The last thing I do every day is I take a good look at the entire property. Yeah, it takes a few minutes to walk around and check everything, but you'll see things. We have predator issues here, coyotes in particular, but we have all kinds of other stuff, skunks, raccoons, whatever, depending on the livestock they're going after. And it's something you need to look for. You can tell when the coyotes are coming up out of the woods looking to find something you don't want them to have, i.e. baby goats, calves, whatever. So you take proper precautions by staying on top of it. In the evening, well, we lock the place down. We check the final feed and water. We check the fence voltage again. Why? Because, well, you never know what happens during the day. We check our solar charges, and we get ready for the next day. These small routines prevent huge disasters. So we can start another day and do it, well, all over again. Our energy setup is simple, but it works because we treat it like a system, not a project. During the day, the solar mini splits keep the house comfortable, and at night, we switch over to wood heat. That combination has cut our wood usage nearly in half, and we cut all our wood basically year-round, so that winter, well, isn't a big deal running around looking for wood. We've heated with wood for over 30 years, and it's saved us more than once during ice storms and even winter tornadoes. And yeah, we have winter tornadoes here. And look, when the power's out, the stove, we just don't use it for heat. We've cooked on it lots of times. It's renewable, reliable, and just a part of how we live out here. It's just part of it. The key isn't having a fancy setup, it's having a rhythm and routine that keeps your systems running smoothly without leaving you vulnerable when the weather gets tough. You don't need to turn your homestead into a full-time business, but you can let it pay for itself. Look, sell a little extra produce and maybe some eggs. Eggs are big this year. Of course, where local rules apply if you live in one of those states. Seedlings, firewood, and even small services. People will pay you to pick up stuff and move stuff. It's the darndest thing. Livestock sales are one of the best long-term options. You could sell goats, goat kids. You could sell cows, calves, rabbits, whatever. Working stock animals are great for beginners. They have a pretty steady demand and an easy entry point. They're pretty cheap. But purebred and pedigreed stock, they always bring higher prices and are usually in stronger demand. If you decide to show your animals, it can help you build credibility, but it's optional. And of course, we already talked about why I no longer show. But just like any enterprise, hard work and innovation, what makes income happen. Good genetics can help, good systems can help, but daily effort and hard work is really what pays off. I get this question all the time from people. How can we make it work? And it works because people will stick with it. and not because they start big. A lot of people want to start with everything. It's not how it works. Start small, build smart, fix what breaks yourself, and grow one system at a time. That's the path to sustainability, which is what we really want. If you've got your water, power, and shelter in place, this is where the real homesteading begins. And in our next video, we'll take the next step, turning that foundation into long-term production. From all of us here at Possum Ridge Farms, until next time, I'll see you down at the barn.